Hi, good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Thank you for everybody coming to the regular meeting of our Public Safety Commission. Filling in for our chair, Walt, and we miss you. He's watching probably online, so can't wait to have you back. So with that, can we do a roll call, please?
Commissioner Eastman.
Here.
Commissioner Grant. Absent. I'm sorry.
No, Groves Grant.
Commissioner Eastman. Here. Commissioner Lozano.
Good.
What are we doing?
Here.
Commissioner Mitchell.
Here.
Vice Chair Muse.
Here.
And Chair Meyer is absent.
Pledge of Allegiance. Who do you want to do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Tom, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance, Lee. Can you
Sure.
lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance,
Let everybody
please?
please stand. Put your right hand over your heart, face the flag, and follow me. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Let's move right on. Approval of the agenda. So we need to make a motion to approve the agenda for last month's. Can we get a motion?
I read it. I make a motion.
I'll second the motion.
Making a motion, Carmen?
You just do a voice vote. So all in favor,
Okay.
say aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. Thank you. All right, Public Safety meeting. Today's the 12th.
No, it
Do we?
It's
I
the
noticed we don't have any.
June 9th.
June 9th, sorry. So we approved the minutes. Let's go right into. We don't public comments. Do we have any public comments? Somebody back there? Don't you dare! But
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, we still need approval of the minutes.
yeah. Oh, didn't we approve the minutes? Sorry. I thought that was agenda. Sorry, my bad. Not following the line, am I? So it's all right. Let's make a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion we accept the minutes.
Seconded.
Commissioner Eastman.
Aye.
Commissioner Lozano.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell.
Yes.
And Vice Chair Muse.
Aye.
Motion passed.
All right. So again, at this time, any public comments?
No, we do not.
All right. Let's move on. All right. I guess first up would be our animal control.
Good evening. For the month of May, we had a total of 220 calls for service, resulting in 57 citations. We issued 22 licenses. We brought 43 animals into the shelter. We had 3 owner surrenders, 4 went out on adoption, 11 sent to rescues, 20 returned to owner, 10 to the vet. We had 2 euthanized and 11 DOAs. Any questions for me?
Were all 4 adoptions dogs?
Yes.
Just wondered. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I think the last meeting we talked about, I asked if we could do a breakdown, a monthly breakdown for each month, so we
Yeah.
could compare. I guess
how it
that's
was
coming.
submitted. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as
You
we get it
should
done.
see 3 columns there.
You're working on it?
No, that's what was submitted. It's on there.
It's on there, Lee.
It's
Am I missing it?
Yeah, to the right, it says March, April, and May.
I apologize. It's flipped.
That's okay. Commissioner Mitchell?
Let's see. Is there any logic for, it looks like there was a marked increase in the total calls for service comparing to April and March.
Well, a large part of that was myself. I was out for most of March and part of April due to an injury and a bereavement leave.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
So there was only one officer at the shop for all of March and part of April.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why there's a significant difference in the numbers.
Condolences on your loss, and thank you for your hard work.
Thank you.
I have nothing at this time. All right.
Actually, I have one more thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry. I think I mentioned it before that all of a sudden there's cats coming through my front.
Yes.
Yeah. What am I supposed to do? What did you say?
Well, there's the
for
trap
me?
and release program because there's a huge number of feral cats, and from April through June, this is when they're dropping babies. You know, so from April through May, we're probably getting a call a day for litters of cats being dropped in people's yards. So we see a marked increase in the number of cats, the volume of cats that are ending up in people's yard looking for food.
I don't see any, I have a video, you know. I don't see any pregnant cats, seriously. They just, every night, I see them walking in. I don't know what they're doing. I have 2 huge dogs in the back.
Right.
And I think now I'm almost starting to smell pee, so I need to get.
Yeah, the trap and release program, I think I emailed you the information. If you
Yeah,
call
okay.
them, and I mean, it does take some time because it's an all-volunteer staff, and they
Oh.
cover the entire Coachella Valley.
Oh, okay.
There used to be 2 teams. There was a team that worked out of the county animal shelter. They no longer do that.
Okay.
And the
I'll
last
just-
time that I was over there looking at numbers, I mean, we're literally talking about hundreds of cats
That's
within the Coachella
amazing.
Valley that they try to take in, get fixed, see those that are sick or, you know, whatever they can, and then they put them right back out on the streets.
They're not hurting anything, you know. I'm just.
Well, yes and no.
But I feel
The problem
bad.
is that many of them carry feline HIV, and people are not aware of that,
Oh, how nice.
and it can be very easily spread to domestic cats.
Okay, so I will go to that email.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I guess one quick question. I
Yes,
was
sir.
asking Mr. Musser, is there something within the city that we're aware of, like a nuisance of course, pigeons? I mean, like you have a neighbor who's got 100 pigeons and they all seem to just come into the nicest, cleanest house in there. Is there anything that the public can do or nobody to call?
There's
like
really
Becky to
not
call?
anybody that can do anything. I mean, the preferred method to reduce the numbers is quit feeding them. There's several people who feed them, and then they propagate in those areas and then rain down, and we get calls because they're upset because they're getting doo-doo all over their cars and their houses, and it's very unsanitary. They carry lots of diseases,
Yeah.
I was going to say,
but we
this,
don't have the equipment to do anything with
this
pigeons.
particular home, I've never seen them any feeding, but our big thing, we're all about solar out here in the desert. They don't have any
Sure,
wire or anything, and they're
Right.
looking for a home, and they're breeding under there.
absolutely.
And so now again, so that's a little different. They're breeding under there, even though they're not breeding, the homeowners, they're not feeding them, but
Yes,
so what
Yeah,
about
it's
something like that?
It's a new thing with the solar panels becoming more prevalent. Even near my house, my neighbor has several underneath his solar panels, and I can hear them. I mean, I chase them out of there, and like you said, put wire there to keep them out. But
Now, is that something, as a homeowner, if you're gonna have solar, can we require, is that something the city could require to have?
I'm not
any?
sure that
Because
you
there's
could
gotta
re-
be a deterrent, because,
right.
so,
It seems like it would be in everybody's best interest if you would do that. It seems like a simple fix.
All right.
But you just need to be proactive on it and make sure that even without it, that you're chasing them out of there as soon as they start trying to roost.
all right, thank you. Lee?
It says return to owner. Is that because you see a license on them, or they come in looking for them? How's that work out?
Most of the time, it's because one of two things. They've either been microchipped, and we've found them that way, or they've found the dog on the website. They recognize the dog. They come down, they provide proof of ownership. We then microchip the dog before we give it back to them.
Great, because I know it's a good count. There was 22, and then 2 of them returned. So that's
Yes,
that's
sir.
a pretty good record there.
Yes, sir.
So I'm glad you're getting out.
And
Thank
some of
you.
them are repeat customers.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I think that's all I have. You guys?
I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We move on, Government, to item 2, code compliance.
And you are not Christina.
No, I'm Tyler. I'm filling in for Christina today. It's Christina's birthday.
All right, happy birthday.
So
Christine.
code compliance, we submitted our preliminary report for the delinquent nuisance abatement assessment. Right, we're seeking $379,228. That's including 108 properties in the city. The property owners will have a chance to pay these outstanding costs in advance to avoid any assessments or fines and penalties additionally onto those costs. We did a total of 93 service requests that came in. We completed 406 inspections. We gave out 97 courtesy notices and issued 29 citations, totaling $22,700.
Well, as usual, the before and after pictures are always so nice to see. I appreciate that and thank you. Whoever does the hard work, as it is sometimes, hard to clean all that up. Thank you.
It's a group effort.
Yeah.
Commissioner Eastman? Yep.
I just want to say you're doing a great job. It's never ending,
Yeah.
but you can see improvement. So
Appreciate
just
that.
keep it up. That's all you can do, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And for Mr. Muse, I wanted to circle back on your pigeon issue. There is a code in Title IV for breeding rodents or vermin, and pigeons fall under vermin. So we'd be able, if we can prove that they're creating a habitat for the breeding or harboring of the vermin, we'd be able to go after them with that. We just have to have some solid proof that they're creating a breeding grounds for that.
And you said that was called Title
It's under Title IV.
IV. Thank you. All right, moving right along. You guys got any more questions? Commissioner Mitchell?
I'm good. I'm impressed. 406 inspections in 31 days.
I know.
So you guys are hoofing it out there, and we
Yes.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tyler. All right, I had just one thing. Number of courtesy notice violations issued. How does that work, Mr. Musser?
So the courtesy notice is the first notice that we send to everybody. So when we get the initial service request, which was 93, we had 97 total, which means we went proactive on 4 of them for that, but 93 of them came in that we found to be in violation. Or, yeah, all of them basically came in to be in violation.
So how many times would code have to go out there before it's actually a fine?
We'd go out for the courtesy notice, give them 2 weeks, then we'd go out for the final notice, give them 2 more weeks, then we'd start the citation process.
Oh, all right,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. It's a lot of
Thank
work.
you.
Back and forth.
That's all I had. All right, let's move right along. Fire's not here. So we can jump to Carmen, item 4 with our chief.
Good evening. We'll start with the events. So our calls for service were 2210, officer initiated 627, accident 66. Those numbers are pretty even with the rest of the year. Traffic stops was 133, business checks 356, vehicle checks 87, pedestrian checks 51. Total arrests 70, total citations 52, and no FI cards. Going to the crime stats, crime stats are about even to last month. We had our first homicide in May. And let's see if anything else sticks out. No, the crime stats in April and May are kind of similar, and they're actually down from February and March. But that's with the heat too, so kind of drags some people inside. Day shift gets a little bit slower, graveyard gets a little bit busier. But that's all I have. I'm ready for any questions you have.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Don.
With regard to the homeless, would that be with you, Chief?
What about the homeless?
Well, what are they doing at night with this heat? Don't we have centers, or I remember before we used to have a card to give to them where they could call a center, or get go to a center, or get arrested so they could be cool somewhere?
I'm more worried about the day than the night. The night it cools down. During the day it gets really hot. And so there are cooling centers in town. I think it was today that the city put an email out with the different cooling centers, but that will be on our website also.
Okay. But if they're homeless, they're not going to see that. I mean, are we just stopping them in the street and say, hey, go here, go there?
We don't stop them. If they ask for help, we will tell them where cooling centers are, but if they're not doing anything, no, we don't stop them. If we run into them and we ask them if they want help, a lot of times they don't want help. We can offer the services, but it's more for daytime during the summer, not so much at night.
And this is a gross question. Where are they going to the bathroom? Anywhere? Everywhere?
Pretty much. Yeah.
That's a sad situation. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Commissioner Eastman?
No, I have no questions.
Good evening, Chief. I was wondering if there was any further discussion. I guess it was a few meetings ago. It was Deputy Chief Shaw, rather, that was here. We talked about the potential for the increasing the staffing of the police department, maybe adding some officers. Was there any more discussion on that?
I think he's trying to bring that up in July. I'm aware of that. The staffing issue, I have a set number that I'd like to see, but until we get to 33, I mean, we might as well staff 100, and if we can't get to 33, that's the disconcerting part. City's been really good, and they're very receptive to knowing that the number shouldn't be 33, it should be more. I know I've been talking to the deputy chief. There's a certain number I want to get into to beef up our patrol, but also to give up some more funding for our detective. Our detectives need to be staffed a little bit further, and we want to get a set team. That set team would be able to respond to daily stuff like the homeless and impounds, that kind of stuff. But we've been pretty, the city's never given me a problem with numbers. They know the numbers should increase too. And I believe Deputy Chief Shaw, when he does bring this to you, he will do a presentation to show you what we believe we'd like the numbers to be. And then it's just working with the city to try to get the funding to make that happen. But the city's been great, so I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about getting the numbers to where we need them, to that 33 level. We have an officer that's going to be starting here soon. Next public safety, we're going to be introducing 3 dispatchers. So the dispatchers are actually going to start next week. Monday, we have 3 dispatchers that are going to start. And what they're going to do is basically start going over their policy and procedure manuals, getting familiar with the station, and helping get this thing started. We're still anticipating it's going to be ready to go before September. It's kind of exciting. They've got the final touches going into dispatch, so we're actually seeing drywall up, painting up, tile up, and it's gonna be a great center. And we welcome you to show up to see that once it's complete. But we're going to start with 3 dispatchers to help out June. I believe there's 2 more that's going to follow after that to where we want to get to the 10 and the 4 part-timers. I've obviously met the ones we've hired, and I'm really excited that we have good people coming in here. They know what the expectation is. They know it's customer service. And for them, the amount of dispatchers we're going to have is going to be sufficient enough where they're going to be able to take their time to answer some questions and not be so rushed. Our dispatchers are only going to be dispatching 4 police as compared to Cat City, where they're trying to do Cathedral City Fire, Cathedral City Police Department, and our police department. So at any given time, you'll have 2 dispatchers. When it's busier, you're going to have 3 dispatchers. Plus, during the day, you'll have the dispatch supervisor and then some part-time people. So we believe it's going to be set up. Obviously, when we start up, we're anticipating that we're going to have some problems. You start anything up, and there's going to be computer glitches, telephone glitches, but getting the dispatcher started early will help with that so that everybody's bonded. We will have the opportunity to meet them, give them our expectations again. And that's something that as we get closer to it opening, maybe we could bring some of them so they could hear what concerns you have, and you get to actually meet them face to face.
So you're saying that when I call 911 now, it's going to be from Desert Hot Springs?
Correct. So it's actually going to be it's going to be in our building. We've taken great care to make sure that they have everything they need in their center. So they've taken the back part of our building, and we've given them everything. So once they walk into that building, they're going to have locker rooms. They're going to have a break room. They're going to be kind of sheltered from the station, so they get the peace and quiet they need to concentrate, and everything they need they'll be able to have right there. We want it to be a first-class center, and that's how we got some of these people. It's exciting to dispatchers to come in and be a part of starting something up. So they're really excited. And we're excited too. And part of that is, obviously, you see Albert there, our support dog for the station.
Does he talk?
He just does just about everything, but we picked him up at 2:30, so he's going to be a big member of the department. He has full reign of the department, and we'll be able to use him for victims to help with the interviews. And so I'm telling you that this week has been very exciting. They knew we were going to get him on Monday, and that's all I got is when are you picking up Albert? When are you going to pick up Albert? So just come in today, and you can see we have an officer there. Everybody's excited about having him. It's already boosted morale. Yeah.
Does he know you already? In particular?
Well, what we're trying to do, especially with Albert doesn't need a single handler. So everybody, this is kind of a morale booster too, where everybody's going to be taking care of Albert. At night, he will be going home with the deputy chief, but as dispatch comes on, if dispatch wants to watch him overnight, they're going to be able to. Albert's sole purpose is support victims as well as the morale of the police department, which has already been approved. And I think Officer Romero could show you that. She was one of the ones that were waiting for him. So he's made his rounds around the city. He can go if City Hall staff want him for a day. He could come around, but he's going to be, all his job is to boost morale and help out with victims as well as stuff around the city. So he will make appearances. We're excited. Today's his first day, but there's still stuff we got to get done to get him going. But this is great. We'll be able to take him to schools. We'll be able to do a lot with Albert. Albert
That's great.
doesn't do anything but that. He's not here to sniff out drugs, guns, or go after people. He's just what he's called a support dog, and we're very excited to have him.
He doesn't have to fill out any reports or anything.
No, but he does have an ID card. That was one of the things that went today. So he's got his ID card. We're getting him a badge, and he's very excited to be here. So, and you could see the difference in the station just one day. You go to a bad call, you come back, and you have Albert just sitting there. Just waiting for you. So we're very excited to have him. His initial training was right across the 62 at Guide Dogs of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My daughter
So
used to work
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Great,
So we're very happy and can't wait to show him around the city and have more people get to meet Albert. I think he's already making a social media push too. So. Yeah.
They've talked about us doing a road show for the Public Safety Commission meetings. It might be nice to perhaps have Albert tag along as a mascot for that.
That'd be okay, right, Chief?
Yeah, I mean, Albert's here for the city. He's housed at the police department, but we're going to use him every way possible. That's what he's there for, and he kind of brightened everybody's day today. So we're very glad to have him.
Well, I'm very excited about that. He looks very huggable, you know, like if he could comfort me. I'm having a bad day.
Yeah.
So I was going to say this at the end, but since my son is a part of this community and his community center is named after him, it's his birthday today. And this is actually the first time we haven't all done something. It's just been a rough year for everyone. And he would be 41 years old. It's just mind-boggling to me. So I want to hug him.
He'll be available too right afterward.
And also, the other thing I'm excited about is dispatch, but it's almost similar to when I first moved here in '61 with our switchboard operators. They were wonderful, you know. We'd call them anytime, night or day. Hey, is my grandmother home? Or, you know, whatever. And they knew everything in this city. So this is exciting having the dispatch.
Yeah, and once it's up and running, we'll give a tour so that you could actually see and see what they deal with.
So
So
that,
yeah, we're very excited about that. In fact, Officer Romero is trying to walk away from us. He used to be a dispatcher.
Uh-oh.
So, so she's excited to get dispatch back too.
Good.
I know she's been trying to talk me into letting her work dispatch a little bit too, but we need her as an officer.
We love you where you're at.
We do. All right, guys.
Thank
got
you. I'm
anything else?
done. Yeah.
That was my understanding. This is going to be also the EOC for the city once it's done, correct?
What, the dispatch center? No, I believe,
not?
no.
With
No.
DOC.
Emergency Operations Center. We have an earthquake or something, a large-scale emergency
God.
with the emergency services.
It'll have its purpose, but we're also going to PSEC away from Erica. So with PSEC, there's redundancies in that system so that if we do have the big earthquake, that it won't shut us all down. And that's kind of exciting too, the radio system that we're going to get, because all of Riverside County, we're trying to get everybody from Riverside County to go into that, so that we could all talk. And so that's kind of exciting, and that will be up and running when we start dispatch.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
One last thing I have, Chief, I noticed auto theft's going back up a little bit. So does that usually fluctuate, or are we going to actually, it's hard to say what the summer brings?
That kind of goes in spurts. I know RAID has been helping us out. That's a task force that looks at that kind of stuff. So they've been helped out. It's something that we're looking at. We have other systems that are helping us with that. So our recoveries of stolens and arrests have been up on stolens, just with the additional stuff that we've been doing.
Oh, actually, good. That's all I had. Thank you, Chief. Carmen would like to move to item 3 since our other chief is here. Welcome.
Good evening. I apologize for my tardiness. We had a firefighter taken to the hospital with a medical emergency earlier today, and I've been tied up on that. So he's doing well. We expect him to recover and be back on duty shortly. So
Good.
as far as the statistics for Desert Hot Springs for the month of May, we had 405 total responses. 307 of those were emergency medical service calls. 21 were fires. That includes structures, vehicles, vegetation, other type of fires. 175 of those calls, just a little over half, we arrived at in under 5 minutes. The monthly average for responses in the city of Desert Hot Springs was 5.45 minutes, and we met the under 5 minute goal 58% of the time. We also received mutual aid 31 times, or I'm sorry, excuse me. We received 325 instances of mutual aid in the city. We responded to 81 incidents where we provided mutual aid to another jurisdiction. And out of those mutual aid responses, that included 1 response by our breathing support unit, 19 responses by chief officers, 222 engine responses, 2 patrol responses, 1 PIO response, 3 squad responses, and 1 water tender response. We didn't have any truck mutual aid incidents this month. End of report.
Thank you. Commissioner?
Yeah, it's, Chief, I noticed on the medical incidents, there's so many of them there. That goes back to that, trying to get a medical unit going. But I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but that's an awful lot of medical calls.
Well, nationally, medical responses account for about 80 to 85% of fire department responses.
That's pretty normal then, huh?
Yeah, that's not common. I mean, that's not uncommon here in Desert Hot Springs. I'm sure the board member, Mr. Michael, could tell you that it was that way in the
It kind of
department.
stands out, and I saw that. I went,
Yes, yes, and that's why we have increased the level of service that we provide on our fire engines with putting paramedics on the engine.
good, yeah.
The ability to have paramedics there in that first 5 to 10 minute window often greatly benefits the patient and increases the possibility of positive outcome.
That's what you've been working on. Sorry.
That is correct, yes, sir.
Good, okay, I want to check on that.
Right.
So that's moving along.
It is.
Okay.
The city council did approve the purchase of the paramedic squad.
Yeah.
We're waiting for that to be built, and once we get that,
That's the reason, right?
That's correct.
Part of the reason.
Our fire station, Engine 37 here on Pearson, is the busiest single fire engine
I
in the
believe it.
county of Riverside. So, obviously we want to increase our ability to get there in under that 5 minute window, but we also want to give those guys on the engine a little break once in a while. They're turning probably in the neighborhood of about 20 to 25 responses a day. So that makes for a long 24-hour shift.
In this weather, good luck, guy.
Yes. Obviously, we are heating up, so we're starting to see a little more fire activity, not only in the county of Riverside, but also statewide.
Well, hang on there, Chief.
Thank you, sir.
Just to echo what Commissioner Eastman was talking about, is there any further scuttlebutt that you're aware of regarding not just the paramedic squad coming online, but Station 98 and the Quint? What the status of those were?
The only information that I can give you is the purchase of both of those units was approved by the city council.
Okay.
The city manager was directed to go ahead and move forward with the purchase of those 2 units. Unfortunately, fire apparatus right now, we're getting some delays on some build times because of supply chain issues to the fire apparatus manufacturers. So most fire apparatus manufacturers are putting their build times on apparatus anywhere from about a year to a year and a half at this point in time.
Okay. Also, really quick, because we're approaching the meat and potatoes of the fire season, are we augmenting our staffing here in Desert Hot Springs with any seasonal firefighters?
No, sir. Our seasonal firefighters are employed by CAL FIRE.
Okay.
So they're assigned to the CAL FIRE engines, our Type 3 or our brush engines, as you may call them. Here in Desert Hot Springs, although we do have a county brush engine, Type 3, that's assigned to our Station 36 at Skyborn, that is a county-funded piece of equipment, and we cross-staff that with our staff out of Station 36.
Okay, I'm good for now. So go ahead.
I just read on my phone that water sprinklers during the day are now prohibited in Desert Hot Springs. Is that going to make a,
I don't have any information about
I just
that.
read
That wouldn't,
it, yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be something that would fall under the fire department's purview. That probably would be more of a question for the water department or Public Works.
Well, I mean, how's that going to affect more fires? It could.
Obviously, anytime fuels are drier than they were before,
Yeah.
the increase in fire does occur. But again, as far as the implementation of any restrictions on water, I wouldn't have any information on that.
I think that'd be Mission Springs Water Department would probably deal with that.
Yeah, that probably would be the appropriate agency to contact.
I have nothing.
Okay, I'm done. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
One last, I'm sorry. I mean, interrupt. One last question. Do either one of our engines, or either one of them assigned to an out-of-county strike team?
In Riverside County, we subscribe to a theory of regional cooperative fire protection. So when a planned need strike team occurs on a daily basis, there is a lineup of engines that should a planned need strike team be summoned, what engines will be assigned to that. Given the significant incident activity of Engine 37 and in some cases, engine 36. Traditionally, they are not part of the rotation, but as you know from your background, when everything's burning, sometimes there are occasions that they may be assigned to a strike team. However, we have a very, very robust ability to backfill that station with a reserve engine and additional personnel.
Okay. All right. I'm done for real.
I have it. Well, thank you, Chief. Well, I guess we can move on. I think is that it, Carmen? We can move on to the Commissioner's report. Anybody like to start?
Actually, two questions, and it's probably for Carmazzi. In July, our meeting, is it agenda side, whatever, that the chief, deputy chief was going to talk about gang, not gang in depth, but certain amount, what part?
No, that's not on the agenda. And you know what? I looked. It's going to be me in July. The deputy chief's on vacation. I understand you want gang numbers. Our reports don't specify whether it was gang or gang. The way the computer's set up, it doesn't specify which crimes are gang related. So you would have to go into each report to pull that information out. Now, I welcome you to come into the station and talk to us personally, and maybe we could answer some of your questions.
I would do that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. And the other thing was about the money being spent to turn a 2-lane into a 1-lane street. We were going to discuss that again. Is that on there for July?
Sorry, Carmazzi, but I had discussions about that because I heard the last part of the meeting. And if you call Danny Porras, he can help you out with that.
How do I?
If you I'll give you my business card. Give me a
Okay.
call and then I'll get that arranged for you.
Thank you. I guess I'm the only one. Sorry, guys. And that's it. I was just going to talk about my son, but I already did, and I thank you. A prayer would always be welcome, and I'm always happy to be here. Thank you very much. Ta-ta.
To the city, and I think that'll work out really nice. And your remodeling into the police department, I think, is outstanding that you're getting that done. I know it's a lot of work, and there's a lot to be done yet, but I think it'll really be great. And our dispatch, man, since I've been here with the department, and we surely needed a dispatch, and that's probably the best thing that the city's done in, I don't know how long, 15, 20 years. We had, when I came in here, they had a little bitty room over there where it just wasn't working. And then we went to Cathedral City, and that was really a bust. I mean, it worked, but it wasn't good for the PD. So this is much nicer I mean, you got to have a real communication with your dispatchers. And this will be really nice. They'll know us, and the cops will be really happy with that. I could just imagine how tickled they'll be when they get their own dispatch. They'll probably have a big celebration. So that part is really great, and just keep up the good work on the remodel. I know it's hard, and sometimes it slows down, but it'll get there, and everybody will be proud of it in the city.
Well, we've got a good project manager, and that's Chuck Maynard.
Oh,
So he's still helping us
Chuck
out.
shows up again.
Yeah, and
God bless him.
He's doing wonders for that project, and we're going to have a first-class dispatch center that I think you guys are going to be happy with.
Well, that's outstanding.
No, that guy doesn't sit.
Have him come in and talk to us one time if he's around.
All right.
I'm missing. I know I'm missing. Not that you aren't doing a great job, but Chuck Maynard was Chuck Maynard.
Okay. I had a fruitful meeting with a member of city staff. We've been working on the issue of significant incident notification for commission members. There were some issues raised that would likely involve the input of the city attorney, and we were looking forward to having the city attorney maybe on an agendized part of the meeting in July to clear up the concerns that we would have there and perhaps get to a point where we can finalize whether it's something worth pursuing, or whether we can leave the existing communication apparatus and avenues open as they are. And that's all I've got to say.
So formal.
All big words.
Well, just a couple things. I just want to up top. We got. Well, of course, I always push my citizens on patrol, right? They're very valuable to our police department and our community, and we've just brought on 2 more citizens on patrol. So they came to our meeting last week, so I'm kind of happy, and I look forward to them anything they can do to help our police department in our city. And the other thing, it's not really much, but I know our Desert Hot Springs Little League is kicking off something Saturday, and I know the Citizens on Patrol and of course our police league PO is everybody's getting on board. So that's Saturday, I believe, Carmen, and it's open to the public, and we need to be out there supporting our Little League, and I'm looking forward to seeing that go. And really, I think our city's definitely moving in the right direction.
Yeah, we have a great Little League teams in the city.
Yeah,
It's really, we need our support all the time.
Yeah.
And also
They're
to
very
mention,
good.
it
Yeah,
was my mother that brought Little League to Desert Hot Springs.
Oh.
And her name is Maria Richardson Park on 8th Street. That was her. She did so much.
Well, that's all I had, guys.
and you did an outstanding job
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
as our,
Good job, Skipper.
It doesn't mean I want to be full-time chairman.
Hope
you
you're
did a good
doing
job as
well,
a-
Walt.
as a
Well, can we adjourn this meeting? Call the meeting adjourned.
Boy, that was good. You did great.
Can't always go like that.